Cooking. We have guest chef Nikki Leonard's in the kitchen with us, whipping up some fun recipe. This one's called Hurry Curry because we're making a quick and easy chicken curry over basmati rice served with oven-roasted cauliflower curry. We're cooking with some of the best chefs from right here in our own community. So grab a seat, sit back and relax because we have another fantastic meal coming at you in under 30 minutes. This is your community cooking. Community Cooking. I'm your host, Maria Prekeges, and I am excited to have my friend and guest chef, Nikki Leonard's, in our kitchen. Welcome to the new digs.
Thank you, Maria. Very happy to be here.
Aren't they fun?
They're awesome.
I love it. I love it. So I love curry, which you know, and that's what we're making. But hurry curry. I always think curry's going to take so long, but it's not.
Nope, it is not. The way we're making it, it is not going to take long at all.
So tell me about, we're doing oven roasted cauliflower curry, chicken curry and basmati rice. Let's go over the ingredients to start off.
Okay, well, for our cauliflower, we of course have cauliflower, onion, potatoes, tomato, and some peas, and we'll finish it off with a little bit of flat leaf parsley.
And the peas in this, you can just get frozen peas.
That's all that these are, frozen peas. They go in at the last minute.
And you don't even have to defrost them because peas are tiny. So
Nope.
They cook up quickly.
Nope.
All right, and let's go over the chicken ingredients while we're here.
Okay. All right. Well, we have chicken breast that's been cut. We have onions, of course. We have, again, tomato, and we have, of course, our spices. We've got Madras Curry. Same goes with the cauliflower. We've got some toasted garlic powder, some toasted onion powder, some salt, some pepper, some minced garlic if you'd like, and some olive oil, of course. This is garlic olive oil, just my preference, but you can do anything you want. And did I forget to mention some lemon? Some
lemon. We love the lemon. And then the rice is the easiest part.
The rice is the easiest part. All we're going to do is go ahead. We're gonna hit this up to high. We've got our water in here already. We're going to take our rice. We're going to put it on in. I'm going to have a little bit of butter. You don't have to, but I'm going to because everything's better with butter.
I was just going to say, everything is so much better with butter.
Yeah, and you can see this is a basmati rice, but this is some of the easiest rice you'll ever do. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to combine that. I'm going to add our little bit of butter. Not very much. One teaspoon is just fine. Okay. And so all we're going to do is go ahead and combine this. I will wait until it boils, at which point I will kick it down to a simmer.
Okay, and you don't have to have a lot of rice that says boil the water first. This you can just add everything together.
Exactly.
Which is great. Tell me why basmati rice as opposed to the white sticky rice or different things like that.
It's a good question. Basmati rice is most traditional with Indian curry. Generally, they serve basmati rice and naan or one or the other. And but you like rice, don't you?
I love rice.
Then
I love
you'll
my
enjoy the
carbohydrates.
basmati.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Then you're going to love the basmati.
Awesome.
And
so we started with that. Go ahead.
And it's got a nice nutty flavor too.
Okay. All righty. So cauliflower. Let's do that and get that in the oven while the rice is cooking.
Let's go. Would you mind? We have some chopped up already. Would you mind going ahead and putting these into florets as well?
I like it.
And while you're doing that, I will do some of the onion. How about that?
You get the onion, which is great because I always cry no matter. Now these are sweet onions.
Yes, Vidalia onions.
Vidalia onions, and they're from Georgia.
They are.
That we get at the farmer's market here. I love it.
Sure.
And Georgia is not just for peaches, people. But you could also use a sweet Maui onion if you can't find these. And
sure,
I like sweet onions. So when I came in today, I said, oh, yay. Onions have to be cooked for me, but the sweet onions are my favorite.
Well, you know, if you wanted to, you could try a little piece of it. I promise it won't bite you, and it doesn't even have to be cooked. It's pretty great.
It's only because I trust you. I'm doing this.
I know.
See? I would eat those raw. That's
and isn't that delicious?
I would eat raw.
Yep.
And I can still talk to you later without onion breath.
That's right.
So just in about 1-inch florets?
About what you see there. What you're doing is perfect.
And you don't even have to cut the bottom off.
You don't.
And make it small. So I love cauliflower. I think is the neglected vegetable, personally.
Roasting it takes it to a whole other level. The way that this recipe came about, I used to do it in the pan, just like we're going to do with our chicken curry, but then I was short on time and I had been roasting cauliflower and I thought, I wonder what would happen if I took all the curry ingredients and roasted it along with the cauliflower, and that's how roasted cauliflower curry came along.
I can just see you in your kitchen going, I wonder, which is the beauty about cooking. You have to experiment. You have to,
Exactly. Would you
take
like
it
to
a new
chop up
level.
this one? Just
Yes.
kind of the way I've done it
Just
here.
cut 'em?
Same type of thing. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That'll work. Kind of like did that. This does not have to be fine diced at all.
Okay, so again, a little beefier chunks.
Right. And what I'll do is, if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to give you this tomato,
Okay.
and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slice this and then just halve it.
Oh, so just nice slices.
Yeah, just nice slices. Again, doesn't have to be in fine dice because remember the hot oven, it's at 425, is going to take care of, a lot of the density there.
We love that. So preheat
So-
the oven to 425. Ours is heating up.
Yep. And we've just got this, and see, we'll do that. I'm going to take a look at the rice, see what's going on here.
Okay. So I have a pan with both foil and a little bit of parchment paper, which is great.
Correct.
Because
Yes.
what goes, we've chopped everything up or sliced the tomatoes. I'll cut mine in half.
Right. Let's go ahead and add the cauliflower. I can add the
and
oil
this is
later.
great because it saves a bowl. You do it right here on the pan.
You do it right here on it. We're going to toss everything. We're going to mix everything. All the onions and everything that we've got are going to go on here. So let's we'll just kind of piece it off just like that.
So first off,
doing-
because it takes longer. Oh, rogue
Yep.
onion.
Rogue
Watch out.
onion.
We'll get that later.
This is so fun. And your mom told you not to play with your food. Now I'm giving you permission to play with your food.
I love playing with my food. That is okay. So
Yep.
onions go first with the cauliflower.
Right. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to add some little bit of the olive oil here. In my case, it's garlic olive oil. You can add any kind you like, though. And then what we want to do is we just want to toss it so that we get it well coated. This is so that we actually get a good roast on it.
Okay, and as I mentioned, the tomatoes and peas go in later. We're going to put these in the oven first.
And actually, the potatoes go in later. That's because I cooked it a little bit.
So with the potatoes, they're just in small pieces as well.
Right, and that can go in later with the tomatoes and the peas.
And white potatoes?
Yes, these are actually a russet potato that we're
Okay.
using for this. And then we talked about our Madras curry. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit. It's really to your taste, but this is going to be about 1 to 2 tablespoons. It depends on how hot you like it.
So the
And
oil first to get everything coated, and then the spices.
Then the spices. Here's a little bit of toasted onion that just adds a nice kick, though we already have that. And then this is a little bit of the toasted garlic. And if you're feeling adventurous, do you like spicy?
We love spicy.
Then I think you can have a little bit of the minced garlic too. Now both of these, when they rehydrate, it actually is like putting actual chopped garlic. But see, it's called hurry curry for a reason. We're not doing as much work.
love it.
So a little kosher salt, a little bit of pepper, black pepper doesn't hurt anything. Because actually this curry, this Madras curry, though a little bit hot, it is not salty at all. And so we want to make
that's good
sure.
to know.
Yeah, we want to make sure that we get this, nice and coated here.
That is beautiful. Oh, the smells from the spices. Like, who doesn't love curry?
I agree with you.
But I think it's so intimidating for some people. So today, hurry curry. It's curry in a hurry. It's fast and quick. And if you put foil in the parchment paper, clean up, you just roll it off and throw it away.
Exactly. And what's nice is if people are afraid of spicy food, and what I'm doing is I'm kind of laying it out a little bit so that things all get done.
Your hands are already dirty. Might as well just keep playing with your food.
Absolutely. But I really think that even if you don't really care for spicy, you can always go very light on the curry too.
Okay,
So let's try that.
check that out. I'm going to pop that in the oven while you tell me how you got into cooking.
Probably because as a kid, in my family, they always did a lot of cooking. There were always a lot of gatherings. But my mother was forever kicking me out of the house, saying too many cooks spoil the broth. And so I took it on my own, and I went ahead. I started cooking a little bit in high school, mainly in college, found it was a great way to get people together. And I still love doing that.
It is. It's such a great way. I mean, not only while you're prepping like we do, that's why I love the show. We just have fun. We teach all the, viewers out there how to make these great recipes. But it's just conversation. It gets people talking again and around breakfast, lunch, or dinner table.
Yes.
I love it. So what do you like making most for your friends? Do you always have people over at your house?
I like to entertain. I do like to have people over at my house, and I find recipes like this are sometimes the best because I don't want to be in the kitchen cooking elaborate recipes while all my friends are out doing things. I find simple, elegant ingredients you can buy at the farmer's market or the normal grocery store are the best.
Easy, easy. All right, our cauliflower's been in the oven for a few minutes.
Yes.
I'm going to grab it so we can add the rest of the ingredients.
Good idea.
And why this recipe today, besides it being easy?
Why? Well, I think that it's just love the flavors of curry, love being able to do this and to do it quick, and this makes this not just a party dish, but something that can work for a weeknight dish as well.
Okay, this smells so good with my mitts on.
Yeah,
So I'll hold on to the pan, and so we take we take our tomatoes and add them.
We take the tomatoes and add them, and why don't you grab me, if you could, go ahead and grab me the potatoes as well. Perfect.
I'll have you add everything.
Sounds good.
I'll keep my mitts on.
And then finally, last but not least, we've got some nice frozen peas, and really you can keep them frozen. They don't need to go until the very end there. They cook incredibly quickly. So I will just go ahead, I will just toss this all together to get some of these nice flavors in. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to add a tiny bit more curry because I find that it's important to season it kind of at every level, so to speak.
Okay, so yeah, the potatoes, tomatoes, and peas get their seasoning too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and everybody in the bath.
It smells so good, and it's so colorful.
Yep.
It's like a holiday on the pan.
Well, this is a traditional, in India they call a recipe like this aloo gobi. And aloo gobi, and I just found that, well, this is a way of making, making a quick one, cheating it a little bit as it were, but it's every bit as delicious as the real one.
Oh, okay. The smells of curry are fabulous.
Let's just spread this out a little bit more.
And so we'll put it back in the oven for about how long?
Oh, about another, 5 minutes or so is fine, and we'll serve it all together. So it can just kind of stay in there while we're working on our other. All
right, well, this is a good time to take a break. I'm going to put this lovely array of yumminess back in the oven. Our rice is going to cook for a little bit longer. And when we come back in just 60 seconds, we're going to get on to the chicken curry dish. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss it.
We have this crazy thing going on today. I was just walking by, and all these DJs and producers are set up all around the city.
I just walked by and I said, "What's happening, guys?" And they told me they were making music.
It's the way you walk, it's the way you talk.
There were a lot of people that claimed they had no musical talent and then sat down and kind of made some really nice sounds.
I like this music.
Feel amped about today, inspired musically, about life.
They said I could play, so any chance to play at all. That's my life. I love music.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Welcome back to Community Cooking. If you're just joining us, if you could be here in person, the smells and the flavors are overpowering delicious. We have guest chef Nikki Leonard's in the kitchen with us doing curry in a hurry, or as we like to call it, hurry curry.
Yes.
I love it. So, hurry curry. Curry usually and Indian dishes take a little while longer to make, but you've kind of really minimalized this with the same flavors, but quickly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, basically, I'm using all of the same flavors you would use in a curry, but it's just, you find that if you're roasting it, you really don't need to keep all that much time with it. So you're able to do it in a hurry, give it all the nice flavors, but it gives the dishes, it's just a nice lilt. You get all the flavors, but without all the time commitment. And it's wonderful because you can make it during the week just as well as on the weekends or for friends.
Well, especially if you're working during the week, you get home late, you don't have time. We do have the lovely roasted cauliflower curry in the oven. The rice is getting done, and now we're going on to our main dish, the chicken. So tell me about the ingredients again, what we're using.
Okay, well, what we have here is we have some chicken breast that's been chunked into about 1.5 inch pieces. And we've got our Vidalia onions, which is a sweet onion, but I just buy what's in season, and that happened to be what's in season. We have our tomatoes, we have a little bit of lemon, we have some chicken broth to add a little bit of liquidity to it. We have all of our spices, and we did for the cauliflower, so we've got some olive oil. This is garlic in my case, because this is what I like. But I also have some Madras curry. This is kosher salt. This is pepper, but this is also toasted onion, toasted garlic, and also a little bit of granulated garlic as well.
Now, granulated garlic, how does that differ? I mean, obviously it's dried from the other garlics. Is the flavor still the same?
Well, this particular one is roasted granulated, which I think just really ups the flavor of the garlic. And actually, this minced garlic, it's just like once some liquid hits it, it tastes just like fresh garlic. And this is another way where we minimize our time a little bit from having to crush the garlic ourselves.
Perfect. All right, the pan is heating up. You want a nice, fairly big pan.
Yes, and flat bottom. This is, your typical saucepan, and we can tell from putting some of our oil in here that it's obviously hot, in fact, very hot. So why don't we do this? Why don't we go ahead? Why don't you chop up one of the onions for me, if you would?
I can do that.
And what I'm going to do meanwhile is I'm going to check our rice, and it's looking good, so now I can pull it off the heat and just let it sit.
Which
it's one
is
of the things you
great.
do with the basmati.
Makes it easy. I love basmati rice. I mean, I love
Me
my
too.
sticky rice, my whole, my
And
brown rice, all of that, but basmati is one of my favorites.
and take a whiff of this.
Oh, yeah, you said it was nutty, and it is. I always forget when I use it.
Yep, very aromatic, very fragrant. Nutty, makes a perfect foil for the curry.
I love it. And you just want onions just chopped?
Well, yes, just like they were before. In
Normal.
fact, if you want to give me half of that, I'm happy to do half.
You take half?
I take half
We'll
and half.
split
Share,
responsibilities.
share and share alike. I love it.
I love it.
That's
and
great.
I do love the sweet onions. My favorite, if you're just joining us, I never eat onions raw. Nikki dared me, and I said yes, and it was lovely. It was actually lovely. I ate one.
Almost like eating an apple, but not quite.
Yeah. No. I have a nephew that when he was little, he would eat onions raw like apples. It was the oddest thing.
Oh, there are people that do that, yes.
So I went lengthwise, and then we'll just do a...
Yeah, just kind of like a half moon shape. Doesn't have to be perfect. One great thing about cooking this, doesn't have to be perfect. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give you my pan here so you can just get that on.
There we go. Oops, I got a little...
It's all right?
There we go.
Perfect.
Perfect.
See, the other great thing about cooking is you never have to be perfect.
One more. Oh, 2 points. I got it in.
You're funny.
I got it in.
Okay, and you can hear we've got a nice sizzle going on this here. This is great. And this is what we want to do because out of all the ingredients, our onions are going to take the longest time to cook. Oop, I've got a little bit of skin here. Let me get rid of that.
For me. And look, I'm actually starting to tear up. I'm having so much fun. I love it.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, so we're just going to let these kind of play nicely together. I think this is a little bit green, so I'm just going to pop that out. But that's just me. That's what I like to do. But so I think we've got these working. Tell you what, how about you take a tomato? I take a tomato.
All right. Do we want chunks, slices? How do you like it?
Slices are fine.
Okay.
Again, this does not have to be perfect. Remember, the tomato is going to get smaller because the water content gets smaller as we roast it. And actually, roasting the tomato really kicks up the flavor, too.
Oh, I love tomato. And the tomato from the farmer's market just smells so good.
Oh, yeah, and they're in season right now. It's pretty amazing.
The farmer's market here does such a great job. Do we want the ends? I like the ends. Or do you not like the ends?
It doesn't matter. I'm fine with the ends.
Or just
Nobody's
put the ends in my innards.
There you go. But see, what I'm doing here is we're getting the onions to where they're nice and brown. We want to give this, some brownness if we can.
Oh, one jumped down. It's okay.
One jumped down. It's all right. It's all right. It's all good, Maria. It's all good. See, the great thing about this is, once you taste it and you taste how delicious it is, nobody cares that an onion fell out or something.
Oh, gosh, no.
They really don't.
So it just didn't want to be in there anymore. What the heck?
That's right. So
they get brown fast.
They are.
I love that.
They are. And what we'll do is, okay, so we've got our onions, and as I told you before about kind of layering the seasoning, what we'll do is we'll start a little bit of the curry which is, a little bit of the Madras Curry, not a whole lot, but just some. And then we'll get a little bit of the granulated garlic going here, just a little bit.
We love our garlic.
And a little bit of the onion. I know you like it a little spicier,
We
so a little bit
do.
of that, no problem. And then, by the way, if you ever make it too spicy, just liquidate it with a little bit more chicken broth.
Okay.
And then, that'll cut it a little bit
That
for you.
works.
But see, also, as you're doing this, you can smell how fragrant this is getting.
I always say we need smell-o-vision because
Mm-hmm.
you and I get to enjoy not only the sights and sounds, but the smell of what we're making. So it's,
Oh, yeah.
why does curry smell just so darn delicious all the time?
Well, I think it's all of the spices. It's a very savory, very rich one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the tomatoes in now.
Okay.
And,
I'm gonna push mine onto your board so it's closer. There you go.
Sounds great. Thank you for that. And so we'll go ahead and we'll let this work for just a quick second here. We actually don't need as much time nearly for the tomatoes as we do for the onions. And I'm just doing it because I like to combine them. And if you would you grab me one of the platters there? Because I'll show you a little trick here that I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put this down here. And I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to take this out for a minute because what I want to do is now I want to go ahead and I want to add my chicken in. Because the chicken is raw, what I think I'm going to do also, and again, this is just me, maybe I'm a little bit paranoid. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a little bit more oil, but I'm also going to take a different spoon. I'm just going to grab one of the spoons here, and if you would be so good as to hand me the chicken.
There you go. And I love
Thank
chicken
you.
breast. That's my favorite. It's super healthy, boneless, skinless. You can get it anywhere.
Yep, absolutely. And so I'm just going to go ahead, make this start working for its money.
Well, and in most, how I find, if you don't do the chicken first, I like doing it this way. I like doing the veggies first, getting the onions nice and translucent, taking it out of the pan, and then adding the chicken.
Well, the onions, it really, even if these are delicious onions, and you're right, they are, and even if it is sweet, the thing is roasting it adds a whole different dimension to your
Onions need to be in a pan by themselves, people.
I think so. I really like, for that matter, I think that's true with tomatoes too.
Yeah.
If you're roasting it, it's all, nice too. And so I'm just going to get a good sear on the chicken here. You can see that our pan, this heats up very quickly, by the way, where you can see that we're getting, some good color on it. This is what I want. This is the ideal.
Keep stirring it so the chicken comes out even and you get it seared on all sides.
Absolutely.
Which is great, but no, it browns up so nicely.
It does, and then what I'll do is, you see we have a little bit of the fond developing down here, the brown, all the brown stuff on the bottom, but no big deal. It's, repeat after me. Some people say fat is flavor. I say fond is flavor. Fond is flavor.
Fond is flavor.
Beautiful. And so what we'll do now is we'll go ahead. We have, look at how nice that looks.
Oh, gorgeous.
And let me go ahead and take some of that chicken broth from you. And what I will do is I'm going to go ahead, put my spoon there, because again, I'm paranoid. With the chicken.
We like
so
being safe in our kitchen. That's good.
Absolutely.
So just a couple scoops of
I'm
chicken
just
broth.
doing a couple scoops. It really depends on you and how you like it. But see how all this nice fond is coming off now?
Well, I was going to say, when do we get to scraping? Add the liquid, then scrape the bottom of the pan.
Add
That's
the
some of
liquid,
best.
scrape the bottom of the pan. You can see it's bubbling up. So actually, unless you really like it liquidy, you don't have to do that. But I just think it really adds, a lot to it. You have the fond. Otherwise you leave all the flavor at the bottom of the pot. We don't like that.
And it helps clean it.
Let's
Let's just go for the cleaning end, because that's where I'm usually stuck.
That's right.
You scrape it all up now. It adds flavor and makes cleaning a breeze.
I told you season every layer. And
There
so
we go.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to add a little more to the chicken. Not
Okay.
too much, but a little more. And a little more of this.
Well, and you have most of the chicken on one side, so it's easy to season.
True. And we just have it for the entire pot anyway, so we're
Yeah.
all good.
I like seasoned by layers.
Yep, exactly. Layering the season. It's all good. A little bit of kosher salt, a little more
bit
pepper.
more pepper. And it's so easy because it's basically the same spices for every layer and for every dish.
Correct. And so that's what we're doing. I mean, you can do different styles of curry. You don't have to get the Madras. You can get a different type if you want to. But I just find that I really like the flavor, of the Madras curry. It comes out great. And then what we're going to do for our finishing touch is I'm going to go ahead I'll slice the lemon. I'm going to go ahead and kind of de-seed it. What I do for that is I just kind of put it in my hand.
Yep.
And then just kind of do that. And what the lemon does, it just adds a little bit of freshness because the curry, as you've been smelling, is quite intense.
Yes, which I love, but for some people the lemon just kind of cuts it a little.
Yeah, and also this is another way that, for example, it's not strictly Indian. Persian people make curry, and they make it like this is actually a little bit more of a Persian style rather than a true Indian curry, whereas the oven curry is more like a play on the oven curry there. So we're just going to go ahead and let that, let that kind of, simmer down there, and then meanwhile,
the cauliflower is coming out nicely.
Yeah.
I think just a couple more minutes.
I think we're good. And what we'll do meanwhile, smell this fragrant rice.
I love it. Well, the cauliflower is finishing up and the chicken's finishing up. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to plate it all up. And as I always say, my favorite part, Miss Nikki, the tasting. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 5 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to Community Cooking. My favorite part of the whole show, Nikki, the tasting. Talk about hurry curry in a hurry. We have the chicken, the basmati rice, and the oven roasted cauliflower curry. I'm going to start with that because it looks so good and smells so good. You have to taste your own wares here.
Oh, yes, ma'am, of course.
Okay, the curry seasoning and then the garlic flavor. I have to taste the tomato and the you can taste the flavors, yet they're infused together so beautifully.
And a little bit of parsley to go on top.
All right, I'm tasting the chicken.
And I'm a mess eater.
Tender. Wait for it. The chicken's tender, and you don't use a lot of oil, so it's not heavy. It is so light, along with the rice. I'm tasting them all separately first.
Yep.
Okay, basmati rice is my new favorite. It tastes like you put flavoring in there, but just with that little bit of butter. Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to take this with me, but before I do, I want to thank Nikki for coming in for these fabulous recipes. They're always so tasty. Love it. For the entire crew, myself and Nikki, thank you for joining us today on Community Cooking. We urge you to make all of this at home. It'll be well worth it. And remember, we really do have some of the best chefs right here in our own community. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Community Cooking.
If you'd like a copy of the recipes seen on this show, send us a self-addressed stamped envelope to the Office of Cable and Community Relations. That's 3350 Civic Center Drive, Suite 200, in Torrance, California, 90503. Be sure to note the show number displayed on the screen. And don't forget, you can find all the fresh ingredients used on today's show at the Farmers Market. Visit the one here in Torrance at Wilson Park. That's located at 2200 Crenshaw Boulevard. They're open every Tuesday and Saturday from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m., rain or shine. And if you'd like to be a guest on our show, email us at communitycooking@torranceca.gov and check us out online at youtube.com/TorranceCitiCABLE and like us on Facebook at Community Cooking TV.